I had to pick the right. Yes, this is going to be on the cloud. That gets it faster. When we record on the cloud, it's easier for the web team to get it up there. So I'm going to share our agenda. And just to let you know, this is being recorded. You may have people, you may want to go back and check on some things that were said, but we also will post our PowerPoint slide deck. And we also, at the end of the session, we have Q&A for you to ask your own questions. And we will post those in our answers to those as well. So you'll have those 3 items. And what we also, you might be thinking about it during it, at the end of it, we're going to ask you, what would you like to do for the 4th finance peer group session that we'll have in June, on June 6th. So I am going to share my screen. All right. So can everybody see this okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, here we have, this is the agenda. We are going to have a poll. I've started every meeting with a poll, and that's to learn more about you. We're trying to find out more about the branches, and in this case, it obviously relates to the hub. We will then go over with Carol stepping in, talking about the community hub, add, join new members, and talk about the different dues categories, and then the shape the future membership, because that's a little tricky. You have to fill out some forms, and there's several steps to it. So that's an important way to get new members, and it's important to learn how to do it. So then we'll go into how to self-join for new and renewing members, and that's really important because the more you get your members to join themselves, the less you're going to have to process checks into your branch account and paying national and state on the hub. Then how to really reconcile or review your branch roster on hub to make sure it agrees with what you expect. And then the group renewals or mass renewals that you can do on Community Hub that certain branch leadership can do are Q&A, and then possible topics, a survey for that for next month or June. All right. So I seem to have lost my poll questions. I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going
to... it was the slide before. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me show it to you again then. These are the questions. I'd really like you to answer all the questions. How do you renew? How do your existing branch members renew? How does your branch handle membership dues reminders? This is an issue. National will remind your members about renewing. If you don't want them to do that, you can opt out. Or do you have National remind your members and you also send out reminders? How do new members join your branch? And how does your branch pay on Hub? Do you use a debit or credit card? And one thing you'll notice in Hub, they just say credit card, but it covers both debit and credit cards, ACH, or do you use the affiliate dues report? So we're going to go with that. Let me get the poll going. For some reason, that's not popping up. Let me just go in.
need to get out of Zoom.
All right, let's see if this does it. All right, here's our polls and quizzes. You know, if you see a difference, this should be it. You should be able to see it and answer that. Does everybody see that? Can you click on polls and do that?
Doesn't look like we can actually do anything. So I wonder if we could just have oh, wait, there you go. Maybe make it a quiz. Try that.
Yeah. That they made some modifications. You can see we have multiple. So there we go. Does that help?
Well, I hope that we can choose more than one answer because for most of those, my answer is going to be some and some.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, this says, how about the both, where you would put down, can I, well, I can make it.
I don't think it's running it as a poll. What
No.
we're doing is that we're looking at you editing the document.
Yes, I know. And this has not been a problem in prior polls until I saw
It may be
multiple.
because you're in your presentation. Maybe if you stopped your presentation and stopped sharing your screen and then ran the poll,
Yeah,
maybe then it would work.
okay.
So then try to launch the poll.
The other thing we could do is just raise our hands, you know,
Yeah.
ask the question and we could raise our hands.
Yeah, I think we can count with enough.
Okay, try this.
Yeah,
There we go.
All right,
Yay.
there you go.
Yes. Okay, but half of the branch uses the hub and half uses check.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, it just put down what your predominant use is.
Half and half.
50-50 split, okay.
one.
Yeah. Just in that case, if you can just put in, if it's half and half, and I'll assume whoever didn't answer, that's a 50-50 split. But otherwise, put what is the most common. We're really trying to get at
I don't know. Well,
what most do.
I thought I could
Not sure.
hit two, both of them, and now it won't let me clear it out.
Right.
Yeah, once
Okay,
you click on it, you're stuck. So it won't, and we're half and half also, and even
Okay.
the
I
next one.
think we get the idea that there's a mixture. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Let's go on to the
Right.
next question.
We even
Yeah, well, the new ones don't have checks.
I don't
They
know
want
whose
to
turn
do
is it to speak? Whose turn is it to speak? Now, my name is Gaetan Andrews.
Yes.
I'm with the North Peninsula branch in Millbrae, California.
Mhm.
And we have a small branch. We have 35 members, and they are quite elderly. They don't like to use credit cards, and they pay by check. So, and then I'm going to continue. I'm the treasurer since 2015 with them, and I will continue to accept the checks and then send it to National and Sacramento, and of course in our branch. So we're not going to do any changes because they don't want any changes. And
Right.
who knows,
No,
this could be our last year as a branch.
Mhm.
So I will continue, and it's working out fine, what I've been doing. And I fill out forms for each member who pays, and I write everything down, and the checks are sent in, and it's been working great. So that's what we're doing as a branch.
Right, and that fits your brand. So, accommodating your membership and where it's at is great. You get some branches where members feel that they're more comfortable doing something else.
Yeah. Well, they rather write a check. So, and then everybody pays and they pay early and they're on time. And one question, I hope I'm not jumping the gun here. I'm concerned now, is $72 still the national fee?
Yes.
I think that's correct. I
That's
know
correct.
if you're looking for that ADR report, it's listing an old fee, so that hasn't been updated yet. But
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Because that's what the members were concerned about, like I said, they're elderly and, every penny counts,
yes,
what
yes,
they spent. So, okay, and then of course the state will be the same,
yes.
$20, and then of course our branch. So
Your branch,
okay,
however you decide it.
that's good. So I will relay that message to them then.
Okay,
only-
so we got listed 71%. Is everybody, probably we still have people looking at it?
Let's go on to the next one, maybe.
Okay. Looks like we've got 81, we've got a good fix on that. Looks like we've got, most are asking National to send out, and they send reminders to the members. Redundancy is good for that. How do they join? New members, we have 12% that have said, or 3 out of our 25 participants answering questions actually get their new members to use the hub. The bulk are new members complete a membership form. And I think that's pretty standard. And then how does your branch pay National in California using a debit or credit card? We have a few that are using ACH, and we've got one, and I think we probably know who's doing that, is using the affiliate dues report and sending to National and state.
What is ACH?
It is, you're giving them the bank routing number and account number to directly deposit it into your bank. So, or withdraw the money from your bank. So the money, it's like a digital check, and it will go directly to National from your bank. It's pretty quick, just like a debit card is. It almost operates that way. Okay, I think we're ready to end.
Kath, how do we know if you're sending us sending our members a notice? I'm replacing our membership VP who has passed away.
I'm sorry.
So how do you check if that's occurring?
National will do it.
I know, but how do I know? How do I look up and see that?
They will do it unless you tell them not to. You have to opt out.
But she's saying she doesn't know what was happening.
Right. So how do
the person you ask is Angie Cooper at National.
Well, if you want to ask specifically, you can contact her and she can let you know. But you should be getting, membership VP should be getting notices about this as it goes on to give you the option to opt out.
But there's no way that I can go into this system and see that we've signed up for that or not.
No, it's not visible.
Okay, and I will just make a comment. I have left a message and I've sent emails to Angie and I don't get anything back.
Did you send it to her or to that account? The contact.
Send an email. So I'm just saying, I know she's probably busy, but that's not.
They have very good office hours. If you sign up on the website, it's very, very helpful because they show up in person, you're there on Zoom, and they're very helpful.
Yeah, and you can ask your question.
Sign up for office hours.
They have a Tuesday and Thursday. And not only that, one of the benefits of doing that is that they have a couple people who respond to questions. And if they see your question, because you have an opportunity, if you register for one of the office hours, to post your question, tell them what it is you want to hear about. And frequently they will contact you and say, hey, I can answer that real quickly. I'll just email you back and tell you the answer.
Okay, and can you put in the chat or something exactly how to sign up for office hours?
You're going to see it in this. You actually see it, and you can see how to connect to it. And we're actually hooking up to National's Hub website, and that is part of it. You just click on the buttons and you register. So it'll be pretty obvious, and it'll be on the PowerPoint that'll get posted. Okay. Well, that was really good. I think we have a lot of people moving on to Hub. Hub has gotten easier to understand and use. Contact with National is still a challenge, I think, but we're good. All right, I am going to share my screen again, and we're going to go on. All right. So here, we're going to switch this over to Carol, and she's going to go over these categories. So Carol, you just let me know if you want me to go into Hub Tools and Resources, or just when you want me to move down.
Okay. And so Kathy, just, I don't know if you need to be in presentation mode to click on this or not. It's so
no,
right
I don't.
Okay,
actually.
all right. Okay, because we can see that. So yes, so one of the things that obviously we deal with is adding new members, and they might actually be not so new. Maybe they were members and they've been out of the organization for a couple of years, or they might be transferring from another location. So the way to do that through Hub is to, first of all, they have a very handy set of tools and resources that really kind of gives you step by step. So I think, Kathy, you could go to that right now. And this is designed, this is so you're going as a person who's in charge of membership, either the treasurer or the membership person. And so you're empowered to do things. I think that, yeah, hyperlink would do it. There we go. And so right there, the add new joined members is, again, a very important step-by-step approach.
Where's it?
Do you want to go into that, Carol?
Yes. And maybe, actually, we maybe want to back up in how we got to that. So we started with the, can you go backwards?
Yeah, let me. No.
No. So you can either log in yourself, or you can go to myaeuw.org. And then you're going to choose My Affiliations. And that is because you're wanting to affiliate your own record with the branch that you're responsible for. So you're affiliated with that branch. Any luck there? Here we go.
So if you want to, I think you're on here, you want to go back into Hub Resources?
Yes. Yeah. One of the areas that I think people have had some challenges with is that if you are a member of AEUW, you do have an account. And people might not think they have an account because they have never been on Hub in this current format. But so that for new members, we're going to first of all look and see if we can find them. So you're going to choose adding individual. Yeah, keep going down. This is you. So then you're going to.
Did you want to go over this?
Fine. No, that's right where you are is fine. So you're going to choose add individual, and that's going to bring up a box where you put in the name of the individual. And I certainly have had this happen back in my days when I was the branch treasurer, that I put a name in of somebody who had been a member but had lapsed for a few years, but she was still in the AUW system. So that's why you
Right.
want to do a search to see if an account record actually exists. And if so, then you can move on from there. But if it's not, then you're going to add the individual and add the information about them. So one of the areas is going to be what kind of a member is this? And is it a student, a graduate student, or an undergraduate student, or someone who has already graduated? Obviously, this may change depending on what happens with the proposal that's going to the membership in a few more weeks. But you're going to create a new degree record, just as you see as we're scrolling here. You're entering the education degree. If they haven't given the month and year of graduation, just use May 31st as the date and month. If the graduation date is in the future, then they're going to be considered a student member, either an undergraduate or a graduate student. And the other thing is that you are going to choose, is this person joining as a lifetime member, or are they joining as a national member? Now, don't worry about that they're joining as a national member, because you're going to have a chance to add the state and branch memberships, as you see right in the middle of the screen where it says click next, and that's going to add the state and branch memberships. Now, if you're submitting the money, you don't click branch membership, because you're going to keep the branch dues. If you click branch membership, then national will collect the branch dues, and then they're going to have to send it back to you. So that's going to be one consideration. And then finally, looking at on the checkout page, if this is a new member who's joining at some kind of an event or meeting, then you can use the Shape the Future coupon code. And in that case, the member's only going to pay half the national dues. And here then is your payment information. You may already have a credit card or debit card saved for future use. I do notice that if you want to set up an ACH, or it's called, I think that means automatic clearinghouse, is what it's for, where you're giving them their bank account information, and then they can just, go and take the requisite amount out of your bank account. That you need to do that before you're doing this addition process and have that already set up.
Who do you get the coupon code from?
So you're going to see
It's
that
right there.
Oh,
It's
that's
right there.
Screen.
It's actually shorter than that, and you'll see it on the PowerPoint in just a second.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the process for using to create a new member. And so you're creating the record of the member, and then you're affiliating them with your branch. Okay, so let's now go a little bit further and look at the couple of other special dues categories. And so that we can go back to the PowerPoint, Kathy.
Okay.
So Shape the Future, basically, there's a couple features of Shape the Future. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Yeah. So the Shape the Future campaign is a way of encouraging new membership. And essentially, if somebody joins at a meeting or some kind of a special event, they can be considered a Shape the Future member. And that means that they are eligible for half price national dues for their first year. And that the new code is just STF underscore FY24. So a little shorter to type it in. And the other feature of Shape the Future is that for every 2 new members that a branch gets, they earn a free national membership, up to 3 per year. So for that, Kathy, I think we should look at the the link there for the Shape the Future campaign. For the Shape the Future free memberships, what you do is you find this Shape the Future campaign, and I'll scroll down a ways. And there, so this is talking about the new members are going to be, 50% off. Keep going, and then keep on going. And then for these free memberships, you first of all, you want to look at the status report, which is at the very bottom of your screen. And that's going to give you a list of all of the branches throughout the country and how many free memberships they have earned. So can we click on that? And you can see here the starting out with Alaska and then Arizona, and you can see that a lot of branches have had a pretty robust membership recruitment. There was Chico that had 15 new members, so they've earned the maximum of three free memberships. And you can use those any way you want, but you have to use them in the same fiscal year. So I know in my old branch, one of the things we often did was to, if we had a speaker who was not an AUW member, we gave them a free membership for a year, hoping that that might, give them more information about the organization. Or if you have somebody that you might have a drawing for a free membership at your closing luncheon for the year. So you can use them however you want. And now let's go back and go to the other form that was at the bottom of the page.
Excuse me, when do you say we have to use these free memberships?
You have to use them within the fiscal year in which they're earned. You have to
So
renew
before June 30th.
Before June 30th, exactly.
And then that person will get the membership that will expire in June of 2025.
Correct. And honestly, I used to use this in my old branch. I would just take like the first 3 renewals and submit them using the form. So let's go ahead, Kathy, all the way to the bottom and do the form. Oh, there we go. Free membership redemption. There we go. So here in this.
Can you show us where you're finding these things on the actual website?
We actually are going to the website and we're clicking again. If you went into that hub, and all of these will be on the PowerPoint, all these references are on the PowerPoint.
I think Kathy, excuse me, this is Donna Holmes in Sacramento, currently in Florida. If you go to aauw.org and you click membership in the upper right side of the screen, and it takes you to a membership page, the community hub is something that's listed on the page as you scroll, and you'll start to see all of this before you, it's really not hard to find.
No, and it's all in there, and that's a good place to go.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing that up. You can also find it on the California website if you go into branch tools and you go into the finance section, peer group, and you go into membership hub. You click on that and it actually has the link into that national hub site, and you go all the way through that the way we have been. You can get to these individual items.
And the
including
other thing, you
the
could
sign
just
up
use,
for those.
just
for
use
those
the
meetings.
search button. Just use the search button on the national site, and that will bring it up as well.
Right, because I was trying to follow along, and you said to go to the, to my affiliations, and that doesn't take you there, and it's so
No, my affiliations doesn't. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're just talking about Shape the Future now.
Right.
Okay, but even before, I was trying to follow along, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just put the link in the chat.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So here you see, this is, it's essentially a paper form, but you can fill the form out. I type the information in on your computer and then print it out and you send it in. Now, remember, this is only covering the national membership, so you would still have to send the state dues and do whatever with your with your branch dues. But you see here that you're just putting in the information. And you may have to follow up to make sure that they've been recorded. You want to watch your roster, which Indrani's going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, that's a
to
great,
make
that's
sure-
the form that I use,
Yeah.
that you have
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, clarify again where it shows, in this one, it said membership expire, go down a little bit. In September of 23, so this was from September, or from July 22 to June of 23, and then you had 3 months to use it?
No.
Yes. Well,
Well,
I
in
think,
terms of
Yes,
actually submitting it, correct?
yeah, I think you would be well advised to submit it before June 30th.
Yeah.
So it's for membership, they're going to be for memberships that are expiring within this fiscal year.
Okay, I guess I don't, say someone joined in May or just at the end of the year, and then you've got to hurry and use it by the time the end of June comes, as you're saying.
If you've already joined them in May, yeah, it's too late, but rather
No,
than.
but then if at the end of May, we qualified for some, you're saying that by the end of June, I better use up what I earned.
Right, so it may be that you have somebody else who's going to join in June and use it for them, for a new member that's joining late, or somebody who's renewing in June.
you don't get one of the free ones for a person. It's for
Right, it's
every
two
two
people.
people that
Right, that's
join,
what I mean.
you
Let's say
get
it's-
one free person.
let's say it's-
Right.
I'm
Up
just
to-
trying to understand
up
the
to three.
extension.
And that's in the 12-month fiscal year of July 1st to June 30th.
Correct. Correct.
And then you use them up. The deadline extension for that is 90 days after June 30th, which is why it says redeemed by that 90-day extension date.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So you would know all your fiscal year ads and how many people you can.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, because it's on that other site where you see how many you've earned. And once you've earned your 3, if say you earned them before, like we earned them by the end of the year.
Right.
So it
Right.
doesn't matter in May.
It can't
Okay.
go up,
I-
can't go past 3. Okay, let's go
I
ahead.
think we have a question from Vanessa Otto.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Vanessa, can you unmute yourself? Vanessa, unmute yourself and ask your question if you would. Let's see.
Hmm.
I have a
Don't see-
question. Can't they update their form? to the
Yeah.
right date?
That's slow.
Yeah.
Okay, I
All of them.
I
And
have
we're
a
just, again, this is their site, and they're a little slow on getting all their new forms out. That is always a challenge. All right.
Okay,
Okay,
before
let's
we
go
leave,
back to
before
the
we leave this
PowerPoint.
topic, I have a point.
Okay,
That's related to new members that are not really new members. In the last 6 months, I've had at least 6 members that were lapsed members that went to
Yes.
the site and didn't do that search because it doesn't make you do that.
yep,
And they come through as new members. They're not, they're lapsed, revived members.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
So we're getting a false count here of how many new members we have.
Well, it's interesting when you say that. So have they been declared to be ineligible for Shape the Future?
Well, they-
That was my experience, that I would try and submit somebody as a Shape the Future, and I
Right.
would get a note from Angela saying, oh no, this person was a member 3 years ago.
No,
So,
this is a person that went on the website and renewed it for themselves, even though they were lapsed. And-
okay,
Yes, but that doesn't create a Shape the Future
No.
right,
No.
Right.
person.
Hope not,
They have to be using the Shape the Future coupon code.
They've
No,
been
that's not
added as
true.
new
No,
members
that's
at
not
one
right.
of your events.
yeah.
That's not right. These are new members, period, not new Shape the Future members.
Right, but
Two
the
different
criteria.
processes.
Okay,
But
so
new-
the criteria for the Shape the Future is that they have to have joined at an event, not that they went on themselves onto the website. And again, so there's a couple questions in the chat here. Okay, so actually there's several. So in terms of submitting the names for new Shape the Future members, I believe that that can be paid by credit card. If they join at a meeting, for example, and you might have them filling out their application right at the meeting, then they might be paying by credit card there. We'll go back and we'll give the link again to where you see how many of these memberships, the free memberships that you're eligible for. And in terms of who gets them, that's really up to you. You can decide it's going to be, somebody you want to honor, or it might just be, the first 3 people that are renewing, and you can actually rebate the person's membership fee, or you don't have to. It's really up to the branch to decide. So there, Kathy's showing you the status report again, which is, if you go on, you search for Shape the Future, you'll get this big status report, and that's going to show you every branch in the country and how many new members they've had. Makes you feel, quite good about some of the membership recruitments going on. And then the total number of Shape the Future that they've earned, the free memberships that they've earned. And you see that that's never more than 3. Okay, so let's go. I don't want to take up the whole rest of the presentation with this, so we'll come back, and if there are further questions, we can deal with them at the end. But meantime, let's go back. One point about dual members. So I happen to be a dual member of 2 branches in 2 different states. And in order for me to join for all of those things, I need to renew myself online, because one branch can't put in money for another branch, basically. So just for those of you that have other people like me in your membership, you want to really suggest that they should go to the hub and do their membership renewal themselves. Okay, let's go to the next slide, and we have a couple of other special categories. So life members, we have 2 kinds of life members. We have people that have paid for life national membership, and I think the amount is 10 times the national dues. Is that
20?
20, okay. And so that's a one-time fee, and then that means that they are not going to pay national dues ever again. However, state and branch dues apply. In California, yes, certainly state dues apply, and branches may decide that branch dues do apply or don't apply. That's really up to your branch. There's another category of honorary life members, and that is members who have been a member of AEUW for 50 consecutive years. And for those to be considered an honorary member, and they're not going to pay annual dues, national dues ever, you need to apply for a status for them through national to, that they can confirm that they've actually been a member for 50 years. In California, they don't pay state dues. And again, the branch dues would be your own decision as to what happens with them. The other category is student dues.
Is that 50 years consecutive new?
No, it's always been consecutive new.
Okay.
And yes, that there might be, again, where if somebody's had a lapse in the middle, it's not, they're going to have to start the clock over, which might take them a while to get to 50 years at that point. But
hope they don't do that at year 49.
No, don't give up yet. No. Okay, so student dues. So that there are college and university affiliates, and that they can join as a college and university affiliate. And if the college is an affiliate, then students of that college pay no dues. But if they are a student and at some other institution, then they are they get a national dues rate of $18.81, and that's because AEUW was founded in 1881, in case you're wondering. So and again, if they're in a CU member school, they pay 0 national dues, and here's the coupon code for that. And then the link here will take you to the overall dues schedule, just to kind of clarify all of that. And you'll have access to all these links when you download the PowerPoint. So that's pretty much the special membership categories that we have. And it sounds like we had a good number of questions. But let's go on to the next section, which I believe is going to be Indrani.
That's right. Indrani takes over from here about
Yes.
how new and existing members can use the Community Hub.
Yes.
Some other
And
things.
Community Hub, yes, I really like Community Hub. Community Hub new members can join directly to Community Hub. Kathy, go back to the next slide. Yes. I know traditional way we usually pay by check. And when I joined, I paid by check because that time Community Hub was not available. But self-join in AUW Community Hub has a very efficient way new member can join, and it will reduce the manual work for the branch finance officer. And this is the plus point for the branches to promote Community Hub whenever new member will join the branch. We can see in the website, Kathy, click that. Okay, how to self-join the new member? Kathy, on the right side. Not the Word document, Kathy. On the right side, the join in, the login, and the website, the right hand corner, the login. You can click that login.
You want?
Yeah, login. Then it will show everything. Boom.
You want this one?
No. Join new member. That will open the new that Word document. We don't want to see. We want to see that login on the right hand corner, on top right corner. Go on top of the page, website. Yeah, that login, click login. And this will, this is the page, very light, okay. New members, definitely they don't have any account with AUW. They can come to this page and they can put don't have an account, and it will open another page, a web page where they can complete their personal information, and then they can join, they can create their account and pay the dues on the website. And dues payment, most of the time, I think it is doing with a credit card, right, Kathy?
Correct.
It's credit card only. I usually pay with credit card. That's why I know. I didn't see any check payment options over there.
No, they really.
Yes.
Debit or credit.
Debit or credit,
So to be
yes.
clear here, they're clicking that don't have an account?
Yes. And then it will open the next page. Can you click that one, Kathy, please? Yeah, and this is where new member will complete all the information, all their profile, to create a profile in AUW website. And then Kathy, go all the way bottom. It will, once they will complete, it will say that create account. That means now they are into the AUW website, and then they can pay their dues with that, with this profile. And
yes, it also though makes them pick the state and branch.
Yes. This way, this is very efficient way. I strongly recommend, if possible, new members to join via AUW Hub. And Kathy, next one. And then same way, we can renew our membership through Community Hub. We can renew because we actually we used to pay with the checks and send our form and check to the finance officer of the branch. And then she used to deposit and then entered in the AUW national website and then update. It used to take longer time. Now it will be much more easier when a member directly will enter their payment in AUW Community Hub. It will be much more faster and much more efficient. And same way, if you once you will go and log in, if you don't remember your password, system you can put that I forgot password. System will ask your email address and give you the direction how to reset your password.
No, and what if there's a member that's been a member for many years, probably never have gone in and created an account? What do they?
They click that they don't have a password.
Well,
that they don't remember their password and they get one.
But see, that's confusing. If they don't think they've ever set up an account, it's not just they forgot their password.
But if they are member with AUW website has their database has their profile. That's why, because they have paid with the check, and that's why they don't consider as a new member. And
no.
Donna is correct. They can write that in. They can type their email address and they can say that I forgot my password. Then system will give them the new password.
Okay. So by just paying at some point, that makes them have an account. They just don't have a password.
Yes.
Right.
And assuming that they have an email address, which some of our members don't have email. So
yes, and that's, and those members we're going to be doing those of us doing the finance are going to be taking care of those members.
Right.
So, and my understanding is that for those who didn't realize they had an account because they were a member, and then they went ahead and created an account, now they have two accounts. And so that has to be resolved by national. So I heard that last year, and yes. I think that is still the case. So it might be a little easier to resolve, but it's because they didn't realize they had an account because they were already a member.
And maybe the instructions could just be changed to clarify that.
Yep.
So now, I have an issue because after the last finance peer group meeting, I went in and I tried to make my husband a new member just to see what it looked like for a new person going in and trying to do it. And part of the problem is when they get to that long list of the branches, like my branch, we used to be the Placerville branch, but we're now Foothills of El Dorado County, and we're under the P's. So you can't find us. And you have to know that, well, you have to keep scrolling until you find the Foothills under the P's because it's in alphabetical, and it's not even, it's in some kind of numeric order that they set up at some point.
Yeah, it's in by the branch number.
Yeah, and you can't search for the name. So after I tried that, I was like, there's no way I'm telling people to use this website to try to sign up for my branch because they'll never find my branch name.
Well, they don't know the number.
Right.
My own people don't know the number that are members.
Right.
Okay, now we will go back to monthly review and reconcile membership dues. Primary resource, revenue resource for all branches are membership dues. And therefore, monthly reconciliation of the membership dues is very, very important. And I know every branch is reconciling definitely, and they have their own method. They are using their method, which is comfortable to them. However, these are the recommended monthly reconciliation procedure listed over here, that deposit incoming checks, because many branches, many members are still paying with the checks. That means that check has to be deposited. Those who are using Community Hub, incoming ACH payment from AUW National, that needs to be recorded with the membership, a member's name, so that it will be accurate, and reconcile membership roster with ACH payment and checks. That's what I listed over here. And also another thing, identify any duplicate payment issue, because now National is using 12 months period. That means maybe member who has paid already in January or February but forgot and paid another membership dues with the check in July or August. That is a very important. I see that kind of confusion definitely many branches are facing. Identify duplicate payment issue is very important, because one member only will pay one time per year. And that is the fundamental thing. That's why, please, that is a very important for finance officer for each branch to look for. And monthly reports before board meeting, every branch finance officer definitely is preparing monthly reports. One will be actual to the budgeted membership report, and membership roster report that comes from the Community Hub. You can download from your branch name, and you have that affiliation as a branch office finance officer. You can go and download that report and make sure Community Hub report is matching with the actual your membership report. And research non-renewal issues. This bottom, this worksheet is showing 2 expired. Why when members are expired, why they didn't renew the membership? That is a very important to research, so that membership will not go shrink. Membership will means it will not go down, it will go up. And that is and also grace period. I'm not sure members, branches are sending the reminder when member is not paying, but within that grace period, this is my personal recommendation, to remind the members, maybe member forgot, wants to continue but forgot. Just one reminder will help, on phone call or reminder, whatever will work. And also future, as Carol mentioned, that lifetime members and paid lifetime members and honorary lifetime members, they are showing as a future, means they are not paying for a paid lifetime member is paying for branch and the California state, but honorary lifetime member, they are not paying anything. If they want to pay for the branch, that is up to them, but it is not a mandatory. And that type of membership should be excluded before you decide how many actual paid current members you have. This is a very important for every branch to reconcile monthly, because this is the primary source of revenue that every branch is getting from the membership due. Kathy, next slide, please.
Can I ask a question about that future?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so someone joins and they're in future, and then the next year they're supposed to just pay like a state and branch, right?
Only the paid life member.
Yeah.
They will pay for the branch and state, but not the honorary life member.
Okay, so for that lifetime, how do we know when I look at a report if someone then is paid their state or branch, you know, because it's just gonna keep showing on on this report that this person is in, you know, good standing.
National report will show that branch membership status, that they are not membership status. Kathy, I cannot see that.
I mean, I don't think it shows if they paid this, the branch or state. I mean, it usually is just showing national. I mean, reflecting national membership, right?
Yeah, that's correct. This is really telling you where they are at for national. The member type, you can see that those are all categories for national.
However,
if
when you
would need to track when you get the membership in, somebody's paid it. Let's say they go on Hub. Did they transfer from your branch standpoint? Did they transfer? Did national deposit those branch dues into your account if you remitted them?
Right.
If you know the member maybe filled out a form, or you can check with them, did they pay state dues as well? Because this roster sample, this is a mock-up of an actual roster report.
Okay, so if they're this lifetime member, they're not going to get a notice from you to pay like in another year for like state or branch, right?
That's correct.
So that's going to be up to us to deal with.
That's correct.
yes,
Okay.
That's correct. And I've had that part of it because sometimes a branch will have, say, a student membership, and they would be required to pay 50% of the state dues.
Yeah.
In our case, $10, and the branch decides to pay for it. So the dues are required. So you would actually have to most likely fill out that ADR form for the state and send in $10 to the state for that member.
Okay, so same with the future. We're going to have to deal with paying the state dues because most likely they're going to pay us state dues and we're going to have to send that to the state.
Correct.
Oh, God.
So
Okay.
literally, national tracks national.
Okay.
National remits state dues that they receive.
Okay.
They'll remit back to you if you inadvertently click the branch dues. But, and if somebody goes online and renews and clicks branch and they identify you, you will get those dues.
Okay.
But if you've got a case where you know that California dues need to be paid and no national dues are due, you would have to track and deal with that.
Thanks.
however,
I think that
Okay,
one moment, I'm a
Wait.
life member. I am a life member paid, and I can self-renew on the Hub, and the money goes to state and to my branch.
Yeah, because
That's great.
you're classified as lifetime member.
Yeah,
you
that
can-
is
you can
correct.
do that.
But
Yeah.
Donna, you're but you don't get a notice on that. You have to know to do that.
Right,
One-
and since
I
I'm the
think-
membership finance, I damn well better remember.
Yes.
I
And you
think
see it as the finance person, or depending on who does it. Sometimes it's the membership VP, sometimes it's the finance person, but you see money coming into your account. And if you're looking at the roster and how they're classified, you're looking for those dues. And
That's a
you know,
question.
if the person submitted it directly onto the Hub, you're assuming they sent it on to California.
so. One of the things I think we will want to do as a follow-up is to get some clarification from National about these questions that I can't answer in terms of how is the reminder process happening. It's too early for me to have gotten my reminder, so I don't have any personal experience with it. But I believe that if you have a roster that is for the people that are affiliated with your branch, it's only going to include people that have actually paid branch dues.
Correct.
and
'Cause
that
there's-
is the reason monthly reconciliation is very important.
Right.
So
So we
that
have
you
to
know who paid, who didn't pay, and are
Right.
you getting members' dues that is not belong to you? That is the kind of things, mistake can happen. That's why
Right.
reconciliation is very important monthly.
And
Kathy,
someone has reported that National sent renewal notices that only reflected the national dues amount. So we'll find out if that is going to be the practice going forward, because I think that's very important to know.
Kathy, next slide, please.
Yes, I just wanted to comment that branches are receiving that report on all the dues that National handled through Hub, and giving a backup here. We deposited so much into your branch account because you had 3 members join on Hub. You get the full report. If you went up into California, you probably could find that member showing a $20 dues payment as well.
Okay. These questions are the common questions you can find in Community Hub Q&A section, but this is very important for all branch finance officers to see that determination, how who has the access to branch roster. And this will give you very clear explanation how you can go to a Community Hub and how can go to My Affiliation and how you can download your roster, export roster or download. I say download, no problem. How do you define member statuses? Just now we were talking about current, grace, and future. Current means who has paid for 12 months. Grace means a member forgot, but still wants to be AUW member. But just a reminder, that grace period is for 90 days. That means 3 months. And future is that we have shown the other slide, that 2 example, lifetime member and honorary lifetime member. They are the future because they are not paying the national, but lifetime member is paying for state and branch, and honorary lifetime member is not paying anything. It is up to the member if she wants to pay for the branch as a donation or like that, And next slide, Kathy.
Any
Next
other?
Another one.
Excuse me, this one. Sorry.
Okay. How do expiration dates, how that expiration date works? It is a very self-explanatory over here that please, if anybody is joining within the 15th of the month, then December 31st. And 16th, it will be January 31st. Oh, that is a very good. That means they are getting 15 days grace period extra.
Tells you when you should renew.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. And I will give now to Kathy. Kathy will go over her portion now. Kathy.
Yes. We've already discussed some of this. It's been mentioned. We've talked about members self-renewing or self-joining. We've talked about adding a new member or bringing up a new member, adding the free Shape the Future memberships, that type of thing. But if you are a branch president, membership vice president, and finance, or finance vice president or officer, you can process dues and donations on behalf of members who pay the branch by check. And we know some of you, that's going to be the bulk of your membership. So you do that, and you have to go into Hub. Your branch members may not want to come anywhere near it, but you will have to update the roster and show that they have renewed and add new members. But primarily, I'm looking at that kind of bulk renewal, because probably, especially if you have an older membership, they're probably all renewing as of a 6/30 expiration date. So you're going to have a lot to put on there at the same time. So looking at this section, this is where you are going to go in to your personal snapshot, whoever the branch leadership is who's responsible for doing this. And you go to yours, you pick My Affiliations as before, you click on the blue button and you're going to click Renewals and Donation. And so let's say you have your list, you've collected all your check and you have 20 members who you want to renew all at once. So you click Renewals and Donations, then there's a pencil icon in the Renew column. You click the checkbox next to that member's name and that you're going to renew them. Now let's say some of your members may have added in their check a donation to AAUW for Greatest Needs Fund. And so you would click that if they had, and you would put down the amount that they donated. Now, once transactions have been reviewed for Actrade, you may have your membership renewal form and you go through, make sure you clicked all 20 and then you got the right names because they're listed sequentially, and make sure you clicked all the correct names that are renewing. And then you would click Pay Now. But before you do that, you want to make sure that the hub is recognizing that. So you would review it by clicking the Renewals and Donation worksheet to download a copy of your selection. And I would save that download. I've always used it when I've been the branch treasurer to support the payments that are going out to national and for California based on that membership list. So you want to look at that, compare it to what you intended to input, and make sure they agree. And if it's correct, then you're going to click Pay Now.
Is it correct that you cannot get that sheet once you after the fact?
Yes, it's very hard to get. You really want to do it in this process. When you want to make sure you're doing it as a check on the accuracy of your input, and you want to have it as support, and that says, okay, on this date we had X number of members renew. So you have that as support because you're going to pay it out to national, and that is the support for that payment.
What?
So here, so you click Pay Now. Now this is interesting. It says select one of 3 payment methods, and they list 2. So let's assume the third is the ADR report and sending in checks. But once you can select, if you've got stored payment methods, you can select them and say process payment. And once you click process payment, the payment is complete. Now, if you click process payment, though, to add a new payment, add new, here they give an example of adding a new credit or debit card number. And that can pop up in this process if you're just changing or adding a new debit or credit number. If you want to do an ACH, as Carol mentioned, you have to do that first before you start adding members and doing that. Because if you're intending to pay by a new ACH method, get that in the system first. Then if you added a new for a debit or a credit card, you hit submit, and then the payment is complete. You will get an email, and of course, since you've gone in through your membership and you click My Affiliations, they know your email address and who they're going to send this email to. It's going to tell you that the payment is successful. You want that too. So, you want to save that. So you have 2 items that this is the report, this is who I was paying for, and this is the total amount to be paid. And national acknowledged that they received the payment. So that is thing. So you've got this. And the one thing that that was emphasized, and it's not really evident when you go to the website, you pick it up in the Q&A though. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of it. Do not attempt, let's say that you put something in and you think you put it in all correctly and you're getting an odd result. When you run that report, it's just got something totally different. Do not attempt to process a payment if you think it's incorrect, and send an email explanation to connect@aeuw.org so Hub experts can further assist you. So you don't want to process a payment that's wrong and then you're telling them you've got to fix this and change it. It's much better to contact them. You can tell them, this is the report I got. If you save that, download a report that I didn't finish it, and that's fine. You can have all that input in without finalizing it with payment. It'll just show as open and unpaid based on what you've entered. But you don't want to process a payment if you think it's wrong. You want to clarify and get that cleared up before you would actually process payment. Otherwise, they have to undo it, and it can be messier than just catching the error and the source of the error at the beginning. So here are the payment methods for Hub and submitting checks with the ADR report to National and California. On the Hub, we've already gone over it. It's the branch credit or debit card. Hub sees them as just a card. And ACH, again, you store new ACH banking information prior to starting the renewal process. If, as we say, if you are going to turn in checks, in fact, you're not going to go into Hub and input the checks you've received. You're going to mail them in for any reason. And there can be reasons for this, but primarily to the state that I've seen. Because generally speaking, branch leadership should be using Hub to record membership dues into payment, for payment, versus sending a bunch of checks to National for the full membership dues. But if you are going to send in additional dues to National or California, you're going to use this affiliate report.
And if you have members that donate to other than the Greatest Needs Fund and have sent you a check to do that with, you can make out that the contribution report form, and you send it to,
that's a different form, correct?
Right, and you send it to Tremaine, and he can send you a bank link so that you can, deposit their checks and just send them the payment. National has had a problem with their check processing. So it's highly recommended that you never, ever send a check to National.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, Donna, and thank you for bringing that up. As I said, you're more likely to find this useful handling California dues. So if you are paying California dues and somebody, nothing had to be sent to National for whatever reason, but California dues are due. These could be your Shape of the Future. These could be some students. Maybe the branch wants to pay them. They're due, but the branch is going to pay them. So you're going to send in a check to California. I have never used this for National. I've only used it for California. And so
and California doesn't lose them.
Exactly. We have a wonderful office manager. She goes
to you do.
Every working day. She has a scanner for the bank and she runs them right through, gets them into the bank right away, and records them as a membership dues paid. So this does not list our California office. They only list the address for National, but obviously California is the P.O. box that's on the first page as you go into the California website at the bottom. So you list your name so they know who's sending it in, you know, the name of the member, the member type, their address, all the information that you would normally do. And you just put, you know, the $10 or the $20 that is going to be due to California and mail it in. So I think we've got that. One thing that if you do, mail it certified, and that just is good to know. It gives you tracking ability to make sure it got there. Any questions on this area?
So Kathy, one thing that was in the chat is about the credit or debit card, and that it was rejected because the card had apparently expired. So that's one of the things you may want to check. I know for our branch, I was handling the AUW funds, and it was rejected. I had gotten the link from Tremaine to send it in, but it was rejected because the debit card had a limit on it. And so the amount of the contributions was higher than the limit. So I had to go back to the bank and get them to raise the limit. So just be sure that, you know, those things are accurate and up to date.
Right.
And the other question that just appeared was, has Shape the Future already started? It's been going on for years. So
No.
Yeah. So
No, actually, I mean,
The new coupon code?
yes.
I think as long as it is either the written out words or the STF, I think it will be fine.
But I thought, okay, maybe I'm confused.
Actually, no, they're tied to.
Number of new members.
Well, no, they're tied to the code is tied to a fiscal year.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
They change
that's
it every
the
fiscal year.
changing code.
And so I don't know when they change it, but if
whether
you
you-
put in the short one and it doesn't take it, then put in the long one.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's an either or.
Okay, but I thought that some of these memberships were tied to the number of new members that you got. Like if you had 12 new members, you could get up to 3 Shape the Future, or is that the
That's
other?
correct. That is correct.
That's correct, but they
Okay.
had to join as Shape the Future new members.
So for every 2 Shape, you know, the type of member that comes in at an event that you signed up, maybe somebody brought a guest to a branch meeting and she said, gee, I'm really interested. I enjoyed myself. I'd like to join. And so if you get 2 of those, you get a free membership on Shape the Future. And you can do that up to 3 Shape the Future new members. Free new members.
But that doesn't mean you can't give out more to get them in.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You want to get as many members as possible, but if you get them in the way that is identified for Shape the Future, you can get some free memberships.
Right.
So that's a good way to encourage your members to bring guests and to have them join some events.
Okay, so it doesn't, like, for example, I thought I'm brand new, this is my first year doing this, but I did get quite, you know, up to the number that we were allowed, which was 3 new members using the, what is it, a free national membership. And I thought at some point that we received notification from national that said, you can get 1 new member because you got in this many, or you can get up to 3 because you got 12, or you can get, are we not getting a notification from national about that?
The report's online. You have to go look at it.
You just go online. We showed that.
I'm sorry, I was a little late. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But you can click on, if you get into the Shape the Future section of Hub, it will show that report, a way to click on that report and access.
Okay. Okay.
So I know we're running short on time, Kathy. There's one question about deceased members. And I know in the past, there was a way of updating your roster to report a deceased member? And so
It's still there.
It's still there, okay.
Okay.
So, that's one of the things that you would want to do.
So how do you, I tried, I couldn't find it. Where is it?
When you look at them, when you're on
Manage the roster?
you're on that page and it's got all these different options, you don't go into the roster, you enter the name. And they'll bring up that member only. And then you can view it or you can edit it. And when you go in to edit it and you want to remove it, it gives you there's a drop down menu. Did they resign? Did they this?
Yeah.
Did they that? And and one of the options is deceased.
So it's not for you manage your roster before that?
Yeah, when you first do your affiliations,
Okay.
you get a thing that has, the screen you get has manage the roster as one of the options.
Okay. Okay.
And then
when you see the list of names, you go to the little square on the right. It's got three dots in the red square. Click on the one next to your deceased member and then remove it and then tell them why, right? Is that how to do it?
Was getting
I have 190 members, so I type in the name and let it search it rather than.
Thanks.
Okay, that's good. That's why we love having all of you here. Just such a good variety of experiences. Okay, there is one other thing when I stop sharing. We had looked at going over reporting to prep people to do their final year-end reports, but we thought we'd covered that in other areas, and you're probably pretty well versed with generating those reports by now. So we wanted to ask you what you would like to cover. And some of the triggers were, is your most time-consuming activity? What gives you the most trouble to complete? What are you curious about? What would you just really like to talk about? So we'd love to have input from you. I'm going to stop sharing.
Well, I'm membership finance. I'm not the finance officer. So this is the finance peer group.
It is. But, you know, maybe one of your things is something to do with membership that isn't covered, but anybody can look at that.
I'm a little, just a quick question. I too am membership, not finance. We have a finance person. Is this, this is a peer group for national, including everybody, or is it just California? I
Just
think it's for
California.
Oh, just California. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But you are also helping us to understand how to use the hub, which does come from national, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Hub is a national site.
Right.
And every state is responsible for, when they sign up new members, if they're coming through a branch, to collect all the dues. I mean, that makes it simpler for our members.
Right.
Just having to pay 3 different entities. So that's, you know, what we are doing. And so what we would like to hear from you is what you think about that.
Francis, you have, there we go.
Yeah, I do. And I see that Sheila had the same problem. Last year, we had members who tried to renew on the hub, and these were computer literate people, and they could not. They had trouble, and I see Sheila said she had the same problem.
Yes, I did.
Me too.
You
So
can't renew until they let you. And last year was the last dues raise. Now they're not changing the dues anymore, but they're you know, the $3 that wasn't tax deductible? The change this year is that it's all tax deductible. So all 72 is tax deductible.
Right, that
which
wasn't the
mean-
problem. The problem we had last year was a number, as Francis just said, the number of our people who were very computer literate, who were coming crying to me saying, I cannot get into the hub to renew, and feeling dreadful about it because they were going round in circles. And
Yes,
were
that's
trying to get their
exactly right.
password and they couldn't. And they
Right.
eventually would come and say, will you take a check? And it really, they were embarrassed about it. And I just could not resolve that situation. I talked with Angie, I don't know how many times about this, and it's very difficult getting a reply from National.
And you're absolutely right. And we had the problem, but there was a date that then after it was like people jumped the gun.
This was
and
This was
It wasn't
all, this
that.
went right through the renewal time. That went
Yes,
right
the whole
through until we were
Oh.
finished renewals in September. I was dealing with this all summer.
Oh, I
What are
don't
the
know. Oh,
state-
gosh.
Yeah.
One
we-
of the things
yeah.
that happened, this is Dale Richards, to us is that was the first year where some people didn't have a correct entry. So even people like our president, who definitely was literate, the entry was incorrect. And once they didn't have you correctly on there, you couldn't do anything.
That's
I have
right.
my fingers crossed that some of it that's got now straightened out will make that easier, but we'll
I'm
find
hoping
out.
so.
Yeah,
I
I
have a-
know. I know one thing that they added as an edit is that if the person started to duplicate, because the first year we had a lot of members sign up and they weren't really renewing, they were becoming new members again. And so we ended up with them
Yes.
twice. They had
Right.
2 membership
Yep.
numbers.
Yes.
So National now, they did get the people to add a thing that if they use the same email address, it catches it and stops it.
Well, that's good.
Good.
So that part they got fixed. But some people changed their email.
Yeah.
And so if they go in with a new one, but that's not what you're talking about.
No,
You're
we
talking
had- I
about
mean-
that
Well, I mean,
wonderful
all
little.
of it. These were
Yeah.
all issues. I had so many duplicates as well last year.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it took so long to get them off because, and it was
I would be very reluctant to
emails.
take a new member through this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm concentrating on the renewals, hoping
Yes,
that
yes.
those will work. But
There are
if
a
we
couple-
didn't have a computer at the meeting where they were signing up, where we could show them what to do, it's easier to take the application and the check
Yeah.
the first
Exactly.
time.
Oh,
Kathy,
yes.
I think there is, so here's a Rolly, thank you, in the chat. But Kathy, maybe could you show on the national website where the information about office hours is?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm.
couldn't find that
Because
either.
I think you'll find that is actually a helpful way to interact.
And they only take enough signups to be able to handle every person who's signed up.
And I understand that also, and someone mentioned this earlier, that if your question is something that they can answer, they'll answer it, and then you don't need to go to the
Then you
office.
actually never have to go.
Right.
That's correct.
Very helpful.
I went to them every week the first year of the hub for weeks. I mean, I think I went 26 times the first
wow.
year. There was a group of us that were diehards, but the advantage was I would learn from other people that would go, well, over here, we figured out.
So where is your,
I'm in Sacramento.
no, oh, not that. You keep clicking on, I don't know, things and rather than like on the
Oh, I'm not
website to
maneuvering
find
the
it.
screen.
I'm right now I'm on the website.
Okay.
And if you clicked on the link for this in our PowerPoint, or if you went onto AAUW National and clicked on Hub, this is what you're going to see.
Okay.
You don't click on
Okay.
Hub, Kathy, you click on membership.
Yeah, membership, and then you have Hub as an option.
But where is the to find the office hours? Because I even
I'm
put-
going down on that right now. So
But,
if you went all the way down on here,
Okay, let's start
Please.
with the very beginning. Sorry.
Log
The,
in. AAUW.org.
okay, got that. So we're
Then
on
click
AAW.org, and then you go to where?
Membership.
Membership. Thank you. Okay, and then you go where?
To the bottom.
Okay,
To the bottom?
you start scrolling down the
On
page.
the bottom and still.
Where it says still have questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
membership-
if you went membership and then you got hub, you go all the way bottom to the bottom of this.
Well, wait a second. You need to go back up into membership and show her where the hub button is.
Ah, that's what I can find.
Okay, then we start
Okay.
questions. Okay.
So when you're in membership, okay, so you come down and it says AAUW Community Hub.
Okay.
And then it has frequently asked questions.
All the way down.
And then you keep going on, and then you get to still have questions.
Okay.
And then you can register for the Tuesday meeting or the Thursday meeting.
Like either one of these will give you a way to register.
Okay, perfect.
So
Because
here's
And
why
then the
you give your
registration
name,
allows
give that
you to enter
information,
your issue.
click register.
I think you could also take the link that is in the chat. I put it into my favorites and I can just go to the hub from that link.
Well, if you click them, yeah. But you can't on search, like I put in office hours and you cannot find it that
No.
way. So thank you for
Right.
going through that.
Yeah.
So,
And it sometimes helps.
Hand raised?
Yes, yes, thank you. You know, very quickly, I was asked to take this position over because my predecessor passed away. So I've only been in the position since the end of January, but luckily I was membership VP last year, so I'm very comfortable with Community Hub. However, I have no sense of how the renewals went last year for my predecessor. So my question is, I recall, I believe last year, we were encouraged to go ask us first, go through the California office, that there would be a point person for us if we had, difficulties getting answers from national. So I just want to know, is it just better to go straight to Angie and attend office hours, just do that and forget about asking anybody at California? Or is there a point person that we can ask questions of in California?
I would think, you can always do that. You can send queries to the CFO as well. Sandy Gabe has been the point person for Hub.
Yes, she's done a great job.
Yes, she has been outstanding. I think she's helped them a lot too, to get this clarified. You see now in the Hub, a lot of questions that people kept asking about now included in the instructions and the information about Hub. But, if you have a specific question, I do think if you register and you put your question in, it's not unusual for them to reach out to you if they feel they can respond fairly quickly in a straightforward manner and clear it up right away. And then if you don't have any other questions, you wouldn't need to actually attend office hours. So
one of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is there are exactly 3 people that handle everything for the whole organization. And when this started, the original Hub calls had like 80 people on them from Guam to the Puerto Rico. So it was unbelievable. And yeah, they just
you'd have 2-hour meetings and plus
and more. Yeah.
Yes. It was quite a challenge. So I think they've gotten over the worst of it. They've had
it's much better
improvements. So I think they're in a better place. I found that when I was still treasurer at a branch and I was handling the Hub, I was getting really good support by the end after a lot of this had been cleaned up. And so I think, going to them directly can be beneficial.
Can I, quick question on college and universities? One of ours wants to know how to pay. How do I do a college university? Or where do I tell them to go? They have been a paid member. They're just trying to update. I think the person that did it before is gone.
Are those bills those bills went out already. Wait a minute, so the next bill would be coming, but Angie, they send the bills. It's
Yeah.
back, you're back at the hub.
Okay, see, we asked, I want to help them. I don't want, I mean, this.
No, I would say you go sign up for the hub and tell them the name of the school.
Yeah.
And they will either tell you, oh yeah, they're paid up, here's the information, or you'll go on the hub and tell them.
No, I don't know.
We had to do that. We had to,
What do you mean by go on the hub?
I mean, sign up for one of those meeting dates.
Oh,
The office hours.
Okay.
Office hours, I'm
and find
sorry.
out how to do that.
Yeah,
Because
it-
I'm embarrassed. This university has paid for a long time and they don't know how to do it now, and I don't know anything.
And you know, the university's changed staffing.
Yes.
Because we have
Yes.
CSUS as a member forever, and I swear, every single year we have to deal with somebody new, and it's a problem.
Well,
Mhm.
but even that, there ought to be a better way that when we send in whatever to people, it's very easy for them to go in and click and pay. Oh. And also. Whatever.
I think they actually send, well, I don't know what they send them, but there was a question on mine before, and it was by going to the office hour, I was able to get it straightened out.
Well, we've sent 2 messages to Angela Cooper on this and have gotten nothing. So I'm gonna have to go on that, I guess.
Yes, and as I said, if you actually send the email through the office hours, the response seems to be better, and they may reach out to you, especially if it's asking,
yeah,
how should the CU pay?
And Angela's other person, the person that helps her primarily, is named Marissa Floyd.
Yes.
And so when you send a message to Angie, Marissa doesn't see it. But if you put it in when you're requesting to attend the office hours, then Marissa and Tremaine and Angela all see it. And oftentimes one of them can, as Kathy has said, they can handle it before there's ever a meeting.
All right.
And so I would say, if you want a topic, the most time consuming is now with members expiring year round would be something that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way, I don't know a way out of it personally, but
right.
And Donna, it's only going to get worse.
Yes,
exactly.
Because a larger and larger percentage of your members will be on random dates. And
yes.
So every month you could have some expiration, and we can't ask our members to say, okay, well, this is what National set up, but we're still going to adhere to our fiscal year. And, you know, they're going to renew everything at once.
And I can't do that. You know, I have to send out the things.
Mm-hmm.
And I only had 1 month I only have 1 month I don't have people renewing.
Yeah.
What if you let them stay in grace period for a while and shift a little bit?
In 90 days.
It's 90 days. And the thing is, then you get into this other mess where if they drop, and then it also changes their, you know, if you're getting a new young member, if they manage to expire before you renew them, and I just had this happen, it was like a matter of 2 days or something. Uh-huh. And so now she's starting over again on her clock.
Mm.
Well, and she has a new membership number.
No, because she was still in the file. So they kept her old member number, but they restarted her join date.
Most aren't going to get to 50 years though, so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these aren't, but it's just, you know, Marie, you're like,
yeah, this is the worst every month, but there's nothing we can do about it. It's just going to figure out how we work around it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the hub was designed by Salesforce.
Yes.
And it's not a very good fit.
I
But
would agree with that.
yeah, but they've done a heck of a job. Not Salesforce, but Angie and Marissa and Tremaine have done a heck of a job in making it possible for us to survive.
Yep.
But think about that poor Angie is getting emails from all of the United States. She's the contact person. So, I mean, I was amazed because she did find our bylaws, which none of us had a current copy of our bylaws. And she found a copy of it and sent it to me. And I was like, none of us had ever seen it.
Yeah, and
that
besides
that is a common question I get, where someone will come in as just taken over, typically as treasurer, and they're having to file annual documents, or they haven't been filed, so they get notices saying you have to submit all these different documents, including original founding documents, and the branches are affiliates of National. You have to go to National to get those.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that they're able to retrieve those.
Yeah, it's really something, isn't it?
Yes. Do any other suggestions on what you would like to go over for the June meeting?
I would say, and again, Kathy, I'm not a finance director this year, but with all the branches we have, there's probably enough new people that reviewing the reports it would not be a bad idea.
Okay, good. So that can be added. Maybe we'll cover a few more topics. Reports. And because those reports become what you're going to use to file your tax and information returns for the feds and California. So,
and as they say, nothing sure is death and taxes.
Where's this PowerPoint going to be available?
It will be, if you go into branch tools, the first thing listed will be peer groups. And when you click on that, you go to finance and it will be posted there. So they will list the dates. We have the first two already up there, and this will be added probably by next week.
Okay, but say you go to this, we're going to the state site and then go to what?
Branch tools.
Okay.
Then go to peer group.
Peer group, okay.
Then when you get in there, you select finance.
Okay.
And that will bring up everything that's posted there for the meeting.
Okay, okay.
Marie, where are you?
OML, Orinda, Moraga, Lafayette.
Okay, and I'm in Fair Oaks.
Yeah.
But I'm in Florida at the moment visiting family, so it's the middle of the night. Everybody's going to bed. But if you're looking at the state site, you'll see I'm running for state for one of the directors. But you should be able to get my number, and in a couple of weeks, I'll be home in a couple of weeks. And if you have some questions, feel free to call.
No problem. I mean, I did this a long time ago, but this was so sad. Our membership VP just died over the holidays. It's awful.
Oh, it's awful. I know, this stuff happens. Well, and I had finance, and then it went to somebody else and she had a stroke and I was the backup.
I know.
And so I had it again. And I know it's overwhelming.
Then all this makes you realize what's really important. So you just get through some of this. Thanks for the state, though, for doing all this, guys. It's a thankless job. But that's why you get paid the big bucks.
I know, exactly. Yeah. I heard they were going to double my salary.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for all the contributions. That's really helpful.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Mhm.
All right. So were you able to